I have sat back and I have laughed so much this week. Imagine living in Oregon, California, or some other Democrat shithole and thinking you're flexing because you're telling me I am not going to vote for you. You don't have my vote. You've ruined the Georgia economy. One, why are you worried about the Georgia economy? And two, I'm in District 12, Georgia. That's 22 counties, 2 partial counties, and only 1 county votes Democrat. So you can't vote for me, nor would you anyway. And a civics class would have cured that illness. But you know what? Y'all do you, and it's unfortunate that you're so misinformed, and I'm glad that you don't vote. You probably don't vote, and that's a good thing, because if you did, you wouldn't be informed. Oh, and y'all get mad as hell when I don't respond to you, and when I block you, you seek me out on some other platform and ask me why I blocked you. Do you realize how mentally ill you look? Do you realize you're proving the point that we need to bring back mental health reform? And you can say whatever you want that you saw online, found online, whatever, but just keep telling my testimony, honey.
This message is for Tori Brainham, who's running for Congress in the state of Georgia. Now, I have a question. Are you dumb or are you just lazy? Now, full disclosure, I'm not an attorney, but I will bet my firstborn that I have significantly more experience in the U.S. immigration legal system than she does, okay? And our system is extremely subjective. I want you to remember that as I'm telling you this. The only reason why I'm making this video is to destigmatize the immigrants in our communities that are not guilty for pursuing a better life in our country, and that it's actually our legislation that could symbiotically work together to pass a comprehensive immigration bill, but they just can't seem to put their differences aside for those impacted by the growing mobility of people, which, by the way, will never change. Now, those 300 Korean nationals that you reported to immigration allegedly held B1 visas, okay? And B1 visas allow for the employment of specialized workers to install, service, or repair commercial machinery or equipment purchased from a foreign company. And once upon a time, 2 South Korean multinational conglomerates entered into a joint venture called Hyundai LG, a Korean company who employed Korean workers while they invested damn near $10 billion into your community since August 2023, okay? Well, let's just say that they overstayed their visas, okay? This is still the largest product in your state's history that has employed over 1,400 workers since it opened, and it's invested more money than your state has ever seen, all to build eco-friendly cars and inject a projected 40,000 direct and indirect jobs into your economy. South Korea is our 7th largest trading partner for things like technology, cars, and beef. And now you're going to jeopardize our diplomatic and future economic relations with South Korean investments. Lady, do you know what you just did? And I'm not an economist, but the Development Authority of Bryan County has indicated that more than half of its population aren't in the workforce, and perhaps something like this would ideally work, keyword ideally, because sometimes I can be an idealist. Now, we have pretty great relations with South Korea. These migrants had come to the United States on visas to perform short-term work as a result of the U.S. push to get foreign companies to move their factories to the United States, and have since invested billions of dollars into the U.S. economy. Now, these Korean nationals may have used a loophole to get these visas. And their biggest crime is not entering the United States illegally. Their biggest violation is working under otherwise permitted visas that don't allow for work within the United States. However, I personally believe that our strong diplomatic relations with South Korea is what granted their admission into the United States under these visas. Now, I don't understand the socioeconomic or the relational dynamics of this county. I'm bothered because it took me 20 minutes to do this research while this lady clearly knows absolutely nothing about what she just did. And she's running for Congress in your state. Girl. And your reporting of these South Korean nationals was not to better society. It obviously wasn't out of the desire to stimulate Georgia's economy, because you just stifled that. It was out of xenophobia. You are afraid of immigrants. Just say it. And the
I love how y'all say, oh, she's doubling down. She's reneging on what she said. Listen, I stand on business.
Then stand on this business, lady, especially when you're running for office. I hope your constituents know how much damage you managed to do to the state single-handedly. It's rare to be able to point to one person and say, you did all of this. As a result of you not being able to stand brown people, Korea has completely halted all major U.S. investment projects. Yup. including the $4.6 billion that was going to the state of Georgia. Your Republican governor hailed it as the single greatest foreign investment the state had ever seen. The battery factory that was slated to be completed would have provided 8,500 jobs to Georgians. That was before you got your hands on an iPhone. I mean, they sum it up pretty well here. Korean workers are treated like criminals for building factories that Washington itself lobbied for. If this continues, investment in the U.S. could be reconsidered. So I hope your potential constituents, and just the state of Georgia, moreover, realize that you single-handedly cost the state of Georgia billions of dollars worth of foreign investments and untold thousands of jobs that otherwise would have gone to Georgia residents. You think other countries are going to be stoked to invest in Georgia after seeing their people chained at the ankles like fucking animals because that's what you think they are? No. This will stick with Georgia for decades to come. It'll be much harder for y'all to attract foreign investment after this fiasco. Well done. For one, MAGA, I mean, usually the damage is pretty limited, but you managed to incite a diplomatic crisis between us and one of our closest former allies. Who knows how much damage you've actually done for your own people. Fucking wild.
Hi guys, this is Tina and you're welcome back to the channel. So the woman who sparked outrage by calling eyes on the Korean workers is now running for Congress. But instead of applaud, she's facing pure backlash. People are dragging her everywhere, dragging her back and forth. The internet is burning and it looks like her campaign is falling apart. Don't leave me. Let's dive in together.
I was the one that reported 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah.
A woman who just went online bragging about being the reason 475 people were just arrested. It didn't go the way that you thought, did it? Because the way that you were so happy to share with the world voluntarily that you were the one that contacted ICE, that got that Hyundai plant that was in the middle of being constructed, completely shut down. And over 400 people arrested, most of them being Koreans, which you seemed kind of confused about until you realized that Hyundai is owned by Koreans. And that the reason they had so many people from other countries here was because they knew they were going to have to train Americans to do this job. Because all of their instructions from Korea were in Korean. So they got approval to send people here to the United States to construct their massive facility in the way that you were like,
you won't believe this. A MAGA congressional candidate, Tory Branham, just triggered one of the largest ICE raids in U.S. history. And get this, she went after legal visa workers at Hyundai's brand new $7 billion Georgia plant. The result, over 8,000 jobs were completely wiped out. Entire families lost their livelihoods. Why? Because Branham assumed South Korean H-1B visa workers were illegal. Now, South Korea is outraged, obviously. Billions in foreign investments are suddenly on hold, and Georgia's massive new auto industry project hanging on by a thread. All of this chaos because one MAGA candidate couldn't tell the difference between a legal visa holder and an undocumented immigrant. This isn't just ignorance, this is recklessness that cost thousands of jobs and is damaging America's international reputation. Sad part is coming from a MAGA, you actually can believe it.
Dealing with a liberal is bad, but dealing with them on social media when you have almost 300,000 followers takes the cake. I simply tried to expose something that wasn't even in my district, out of the goodness of my heart using my following. And this little twit comes along and is like, I'm going to give you time to respond to me. And she wants to talk about the big, beautiful bill and all this shit that has nothing to do with saving the Broad River and the water. And it's just a reminder of how entitled liberals are. As I better respond to her, as if I don't get hundreds of thousands of people commenting and I'm supposed to drop everything I'm doing and give her satisfaction. And that is the liberal mindset. And you know what? People like that can kick rocks. If you're on this page, that's fine. I'll respond to you when I freaking feel like it. Otherwise, unfollow, because I simply do not care about being politically correct. My congressional run could literally kick rocks before I kiss anybody's ass. That's how I feel about it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
So guys, she thought running for office would give her power, but instead it gave her non-stop backlash. The internet is tearing her apart, regrets are piling up, and every day everything is crumbling around her. Well, if you made it this far, drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think. Like and of course subscribe to support the channel. Till next time, bye.